Hey, this is Mike Durr, Kingwood mortgage guy, and I wanted to go over something that what I'm finding is a lot of people recently have been contacting me about doing a cash out refinance. And one of the things that I wanted to get across is that the rules changed in January of 2018. And so a lot of people don't understand them. A lot of people that tried to do cash out refinance in the past weren't able to. Now with the rule changes, they will be able to do them. So they're a lot better than they were in the past. They're still not consistent with what they are in the other states and that border us and the rest of the United States, but they're better than they were. And so I applaud the Congress and state legislators that were able to make this change for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Texas Cash Out Refinance, the new rules. I'm going to try to make this quick. And so the next screen I'm hoping is that you're seeing my information. This is a way to get in touch with me. What I'd like to do, obviously, I'm not going to be able to go over every question that you have today, so I'd like you to call me. So that would be the way to reach me right here. And then let's just go into it. Here's what we're going to cover today. Definitions of a Texas cash out. What can I use the money for? How much equity can I borrow? How often can you do a cash out refi? And then are these rules for my primary residence only? Can I refinance to a regular loan after? That was one of the big improvements. And then we're going to talk about the key changes. So I'm going to try to get through that. That's a lot of information. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I possibly can. So a quick definition of a Texas cash out. A Texas cash out home equity loan is a refinance where you take equity out of your home in the form of cash. So usually what people do is they'll go to the closing table when we close. They give the closer a copy of a voided out check, and on the after the fourth day, or we pass the 3 days of rescission, the money from the closing goes directly into your checking account, and it is spendable at that time. These funds can be used for anything. I mean, I will tell you that the one I'm doing right now, the people are actually buying another property with the money that they are borrowing from their primary, and there's some valid reasons to do that. I've had people consolidate debt is one that a lot of people do. I've had people pay college student loans off. I've had people go to La Cuchara and gamble with their money. Of course, repairs and maintenance are a common one. Just a lot of things that you can do. Buying other real estate, I think I mentioned that. So really, there's just a lot of options when you get this money, because it's your money to do with what you want. Now, does it have to be wise? Well, I would encourage you to do something wise with this money, but you don't have to. It's your money, your equity. So how much equity can you borrow? The Texas allows you to borrow up to 80% of the appraised value on your primary residence. And an example we're going to use is, let's just say that your house is worth $200,000. You owe $120,000 on that home. The maximum loan is 80% of the value, the appraised value, with $200,000. That would be a $160,000 loan. With that $160,000, what would happen is the $120,000 underlying lien would be paid off, and all the money, less any of the closing costs, would come back to you in the form of cash or a check, or just dropped into your account. So you'd have $40,000 worth of equity. That would go less any closing costs that we have. Most people don't pay the closing costs. They roll their closing cost in. And so it's just a good program to do that way. All right. Is it time to refinance? Well, I think it's a little late, to be honest with you. I put a video out about a year ago saying that the time is right to refinance now, and rates were still pretty darn good at that time. Since then, this last 6-7 months, rates have gone up pretty dramatically. The bad news, and that is bad news, but the even worse news is they're going to continue to go up. So if you were considering doing that in the past, it's better to do it today than it probably will be in 3 to 6 months or a year. The prediction that I heard was that by the end of this year, rates will be, for 30-year fixed financing, will be in the 5% range. And in 2019, they expect it to be in the 5.5% range. Now, today, we're sitting in the 4s, and we're sneaking up, and of course it depends on your credit score what kind of rate you're going to get, but the better your credit scores, the better your rate. That's the way it works, and today we're still in the fours. So yeah, it's a good time. Let's see. Okay, so this slide says, is it time to refinance? Well, can I refinance after I do a cash out? Yes, you can. You can refinance back to an original rate and term mortgage after 12 months. So what it used to be is when you did a cash out refinance, your loan was considered to always be a cash out. And there were certain negative repercussions of that. And so one of the corrections is that now after 12 months, you can actually do all the things you could do before, just like it was a rate and term when you did the financing. Yeah, as long as you're not getting cash out, that was the key. And you can still roll in closing costs. So those are all things that you want to do. And then let's see. So how long does it take the loan process to take? It's just like a regular loan. The only thing, there is a 12-day waiting period from the time that you do the application till when you can close, but that's usually, there's that much time in there anyway, so that really doesn't detract from any extra time. And then after you close, there is a 3-day right of rescission. So you can expect the loan process to take somewhere between 30 and 40 days. And so from the time you initiate to the day that you get your money, it's between 35 and 40 days. That's what I would tell you. 12-day waiting, I talked about those two things. And what were the key changes in 2018? Well, the cash out now can be done on a property that has an agricultural exemption. For some reason, they used to not allow a cash out on a property that had an ag exemption. The thing I said before, once a cash out, always a cash out rule, that's been rescinded, so that's good. Here's one that I think is important. There's now a 2% limit on fees. It used to be 3% limit. With the exception, now they do it at 2% with the exception of the appraisal, the title, insurance, appraisal, and survey. So what that does, it used to be that you could not do, or I couldn't do a cash out refinance on a property that was much less than $144,000 loan, which eliminated a lot of people that had smaller mortgages just because the way the limits on the fees were, it cost me money to do it. So, and there just weren't a lot of people that would do it. The banks probably were the only ones that would do it. Now, more people are going to be able to do a cash out refinance just because the fee structure, even though they lowered the fees for the consumer, they've made it easier for us to pay some of the other expenses out of that. So now, more people are going to be able to qualify for a cash out refi. And obviously, if you'd like to find out if you qualify or if this is something that you can do, obviously I'd love that you'd call me. So that's it. Hopefully what this has done is spurred some questions that you might have. And I'd love to talk to you about doing a Texas cash out refi. Of course, in the state of Texas, I am licensed. We can do this all over Texas. So call me from anywhere and we'd love to help you. Again, my number is here on the screen. So talk to you soon. This is Mike Durr.